Welcome to Sheikh Hamdan's official channel, a place where the deepest emotions and the most tender feelings of love find their voice. Today, we bring you a story that will move your heart, words that carry the fragrance of longing, and emotions that reveal the power of true love. Sheikh Hamdan, known not only for his leadership and poetry but also for his romantic heart, has once again shared lines that leave the world mesmerized. His words echo the silent whispers of every lover who has ever felt the ache of distance and the sweetness of touch. Sheikh Hamdan begins his reflection with a simple truth: love is not complete without closeness. It is in the touch of the beloved that the soul finds peace. It is in the embrace of the one you love that the world suddenly feels small and gentle. He speaks of the nights when the stars above remind him of the eyes he longs to see, and the days when the winds carry the memory of her presence. His longing is not weakness, but rather proof of the depth of his heart and the honesty of his devotion. He describes touch not as something physical alone, but as a language of the soul. For Sheikh Hamdan, a simple touch from the one he loves is enough to erase the burdens of the world, to silence the noise of power, wealth, and responsibility. It is in her touch that he feels human again, stripped of titles and crowns, and remembered only as a man who loves deeply. This vulnerable confession brings his listeners to silence, as they realize the universality of his feelings. The romantic words unfold like poetry, as he shares how even the air feels empty without her closeness. He compares her touch to the desert's rare rain, a gift that brings life to everything it meets. Just as the desert blooms with one rainfall, his heart blooms with the warmth of her hands, with the softness of her presence. It is not only love, but a need, a hunger of the soul that cannot be filled by anything else. At times, Sheikh Hamdan admits that power and luxury mean little when the one he desires is far away. Castles and palaces turn cold, no matter how grand, when her touch is absent. He tells of the moments when he walks alone in silence, yearning for the comfort that only she can give. His words remind us that no matter how high one rises, the human heart beats for love, not for crowns. He paints a picture of love eternal, saying that every king, every ruler, and every poet leaves behind legacies of power, but true immortality belongs to those who love endlessly. He declares that his immortality lies in her touch, in the eternal memory of their love, a love that time will never erase. These words are not just confessions, they are vows whispered to eternity. Sheikh Hamdan speaks of nights under the moon, where he imagines her beside him. In those moments, he stretches his hand into the emptiness, hoping to feel hers, even if it is just a dream. He says that the touch of her hand has the power to melt the ice of loneliness, to awaken every sleeping desire, and to create a universe of joy within a single heartbeat. The romantic words also reveal the vulnerability of a man who is often seen as strong and unshakable. He admits that even he, a prince, becomes powerless when separated from the one he loves. Love, he says, is not about power, but about surrender. And I have surrendered to your touch forever. This confession shows his audience the humility of a man who places his heart above his throne. Sheikh Hamdan shares how every poem he writes, every verse he pens, carries the silent imprint of her touch. He calls her touch the ink that flows into his poetry, the secret inspiration behind every word. Without her, he says, his poetry would be lifeless, his words would be empty, and his soul would be incomplete. He continues by describing love as an eternal flame, one that no storm can extinguish. Yet this flame, he says, burns brighter only when touched by her presence. Just as the sun needs the horizon, just as the ocean needs the moon, his love needs her touch forever. These are not mere words but eternal promises, words meant to live long after they are spoken. The beauty of his words is that they remind us all of our own hidden desires. We all long for touch, the kind that reassures us, the kind that heals us, the kind that tells us without words that we are not alone. Sheikh Hamdan's confession is not only his, but the voice of every lover who has ever waited in silence for the embrace of their beloved. In the stillness of his thoughts, he admits that distance is the greatest enemy of love, but touch is the greatest weapon against it. With one embrace, all fears vanish, and every doubt dissolves. That is why he cries out, "Love, I need your touch forever." It is not a request but a plea from the depths of his heart, a truth that binds him to her with eternal chains. Sheikh Hamdan assures his beloved that no matter where life takes them, his need for her touch will remain unchanged. It will outlive time, distance, and every obstacle. His love is eternal, not measured by moments, but by the depth of his longing. He leaves his audience breathless, as they realize that even royalty bows before the power of love. And so, his romantic words echo into eternity, carrying with them the fragrance of loyalty, longing, and eternal devotion. Sheikh Hamdan reminds us all that love is not only about grand gestures, but also about the simplest, most powerful truth: the need for the touch of the one we love, forever and always. Sheikh Hamdan's words continue to flow like an endless river of devotion, as he admits that the memory of her touch lingers on his skin even when she is far away. He describes how every breeze feels like her caress, every drop of rain reminds him of her embrace, and every sunrise feels incomplete without her hand resting in his. The world becomes a constant reminder of her, and no matter how far she may be, her touch still rules his existence. He speaks of how her touch carries more healing power than any medicine in the world. When life burdens him with responsibilities, when heavy decisions weigh upon his shoulders, it is the memory of her touch that gives him strength. He admits that her presence turns weakness into courage, despair into hope, and sorrow into laughter. To him, her touch is not just love, it is salvation, a blessing that keeps him alive. Sheikh Hamdan shares how time stands still whenever she is close. Every second in her arms feels like eternity, and every moment away feels like a punishment. He compares her touch to a secret melody, one that plays in his heart even when the world is silent. Her presence composes the sweetest symphony, a song he longs to hear for the rest of his life. Without her touch, the music fades, and silence becomes unbearable. He paints an image of a man who may own palaces, yet finds them empty without her warmth. He admits that true wealth is not found in diamonds, gold, or treasures, but in the gentle touch of a beloved hand.